Next we will proceed to measurement of shear angle. Now the experimental methods of measuring or evaluating the shear angle can be classified into, so do you know what is shear angle? So we just saw the machining operation using a wedge tool. So say we have the wedge tool, we have the chip here, then we have the so say this is the tool, this is the chip, and then there is a plane along which the shearing takes place. Okay, so this angle which the shear plane makes with the cutting velocity is called the shear angle phi. Okay, clear? So this is the shear angle. Now this angle is very important for analysis of this cutting operation. So we need to measure this angle. So we can measure it experimentally by two methods. One is the direct method and the other is indirect method. Okay, so there are two principal methods of measuring it, direct method and indirect method. So we'll discuss this one by one. So in the direct method, we practically photograph the shear plane on the side surface through a microscope using a high speed camera. I hope you understand what we mean by high speed camera. What is a high speed camera? What do you mean by high speed camera?
So increase in frame rate per second.
So what does it do? Increasing the frame rate. So all of you may have seen cricket or football or any other sport on TV, isn't it? So during some important moments of the game, they show the proceeding in slow motion. They slow down the footage. Okay, so that is done using a high speed camera. Okay, so what they do, they record the event using a higher frame rate, and then they play it at normal frame rate. So they have higher frames, and then when they start playing it at lower frame rate, it appears slower. Okay, the same thing is done here. Here a high speed camera is used so that we can view the cutting operation in slow motion. Okay, so that we can easily understand what is going on. Okay, so for better results, some grid lines are marked on the workpiece surface. So say we mark these squares on the cutting uncut material. So as the tool advances, there is deformation in the material, and this square changes shape to these rectangles. Okay, so this can be easily analyzed how the deformation is taking place. Okay, this angle which the shear plane, so you can observe that the change in this geometry of the grid lines occurs somewhat in this region. Okay, so the angle that is shear plane makes with the cutting velocity or the machined surface is called the shear angle. So this shear angle can be easily measured now. Okay, clear? Now a variation of this method is a quick stop mechanism. So how is it different? So in this case, instead of using high speed camera, which are usually very costly, what is done is the machining is stopped in situ. In situ means while the chip has started forming. When the chip has started forming, the machine is suddenly stopped, and stopped very fast. Okay, so the tool remains engaged in the workpiece. Okay, and then what is done, this tool is slowly withdrawn from the chip that was formed, and the workpiece and the chip are placed under the microscope for examination. Okay, so this is the other method, other variation of this direct measurement. Then we have the indirect method. Okay, so this indirect method is very important from our subject point of view and also for your competitive exams. So please note these down and also derive these with me. Okay, so for this indirect method, you need to evaluate the shear angle by first evaluating the chip thickness ratio, R. Now what is this chip thickness ratio? It is a ratio of, do you know, have you studied this? No, it is a ratio of the uncut chip thickness to the chip thickness. We'll discuss it. First let us see this figure. So in this figure what we have a cylindrical tube. Okay, so usually the turning operation is a complex oblique cutting operation, but here this cutting operation has been modified to become a orthogonal cutting operation. Okay, so what is done here? So we have cut a small opening in this tube. So a small opening has been cut using a saw. Okay, the cutting edge is selected such that it extends on both sides of the tube, that is the beyond the outer and the inner diameter. Okay, the cutting edge is placed such that it is perpendicular to the cutting velocity. So the cutting velocity will be in this direction. This direction is tangentially, isn't it? So this cutting edge is placed perpendicular to the cutting velocity. Okay, so here this feed becomes the uncut chip thickness. Okay, the difference between the inner and the outer diameter becomes the width of the cut. Okay, width of the cut, and here it is also the depth of the cut. Okay, clear? So this uncut chip thickness is equal to the feed. Okay, is it clear till this point? Is it clear till this point? If there is any doubt, please ask. No doubt? So after every cut, what will happen? This entire chip will be removed, and then a new chip will start in the next cutting operation. Okay, clear? Now chip thickness ratio is defined as a ratio of the undeformed chip thickness, that is the uncut chip thickness, to the chip thickness. So it becomes R is equal to T upon TC. T is the uncut chip thickness and TC is the chip thickness. Okay. Now metal cutting is a process of plastic deformation. We discussed this in the first lecture itself of this module. So the volume is conserved during the formation of chips. Okay, so there is no destruction of material. So whatever material we remove from the workpiece gets deformed and takes a different shape. Okay, so the material is, the volume is conserved, isn't it? So from the principle of continuity, we can reach this relationship LTB is equal to LC TC PC. Here LTB are the length of cut, okay, the thickness of cut, and B is the width of the cut. Okay. Similarly, LC, TC, BC are the corresponding values for the chip. Okay. So LC is the length of the chip, TC is the chip thickness, and BC is the width of the chip. Okay, clear? So in orthogonal cutting, there is no side spread. Side spread means the width of the cut does not change. Okay, whatever was the width of the workpiece or uncut workpiece is the same as the width of the chip. Okay, so the width of the chip and the width of the workpiece that is cut remains same. Okay, so if B is equal to BC, we reach LC upon L is equal to T upon TC, which is equal to the chip thickness ratio. Is it clear till this point? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Any doubt? Anybody? Please ask if there is any doubt.
Sir, here T is F only, right?
What?
Sir, here the term T is F only, it's the feed only.
Yeah,
So
if you relate it to the figure that you saw in the earlier slide, this T is equal to the feed of cut. Okay. If we convert the turning operation into a orthogonal cutting operation, in that case the feed is equal to T, that is the uncut chip thickness. Okay. The depth of cut is equal to the width of the cut.
Okay, sir.
Okay, is it clear to everyone? Okay, let us proceed. Now let us consider the geometry of the cutting zone, of the shear zone. Okay, so here AB is the shear plane. Okay, AB here is the shear plane. So this shear plane makes an angle phi with the cutting velocity. Okay, so it makes an angle phi with the cutting velocity. Now AB is equal to T upon sin phi, which is equal to TC upon cos phi minus alpha. Do you agree with this? Say we have a triangle ABC and ADB. So do you agree with equation 4? AB is equal to T upon sin phi and also equal to TC upon cos phi minus alpha. Do you agree with this? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Anybody having any doubt in this? No? Okay. So from this we can get R is equal to sin phi upon cos phi cos alpha plus sin phi sin alpha. Is it all right or not? For this you need to recall what is cos A minus B. Okay, so if you recall what is cos A minus B equal to, then you will be able to understand why this is so. Okay, clear? Any doubt in this step? Is there any doubt? Okay. Now solve for phi. All of you please solve for phi, shear angle, and tell me what you get. Okay, find tan phi. What is tan phi? Find the value of tan phi. Tell me what is tan phi equal to.
Sir, R cos alpha by 1 minus sin alpha.
Repeat.
R cos alpha divided by 1 minus sin alpha.
Sure? Check it.
So R cos alpha by 1 minus R sin alpha.
Others, what do you get?
The same, sir.
What is same?
The tan phi equal to R cos alpha divided by 1 minus R sin alpha.
Anybody who is not getting this? Anyone who is not getting this value? No one? Okay. So tan phi is equal to R cos alpha upon 1 minus R sin alpha. I hope everybody got this. Okay. So this is a very important relationship. Okay, you may have to remember it, or you should be able to derive it. If you can't remember it, you should be able to derive it. Okay, because it may be helpful even in your competitive exams. Okay, clear? Now this value of R, it can be obtained by two ways. The first one is using the undeformed chip thickness and the chip thickness, but this is not very precise. Why is it not very precise? Because the chips that are produced will have a rough surface, isn't it? Very rough surface. So it is very difficult to precisely measure the actual chip thickness. Okay, it becomes very difficult to measure the actual chip thickness because the surface is very rough. So an alternate method can be to measure the length of the chip and length of the cut. Okay, so we can easily find the length of the cut from our cutting velocity and time for which we have machined, and then we can measure the length of the chip that is generated, and from that we can find the value of R, isn't it? Okay, so this becomes more precise.